What's up, everybody? Well, today I'm here to show you another vacuum in my vacuum collection. This time it is the second canister in my collection, if you include the Rainbow D3. So yeah, second canister in my collection. This here is a Tristar MG2. I know some of you hardcore Tristar vacuum fans would probably see me instantly getting this over something more vintage like the CXL or the DXL, which eventually one of these days I might try to find a CXL or DXL, because those were the pre-Electrolux or Aris Electrolux buyout, excuse me. Yeah, most people, when they think Electrolux, they think those weird department store style vacuums like the Nimble, the Oxygen 3, stuff like that. No. Electrolux was a completely different company. It's now known as Aris. But back then, years ago, it was called Electrolux. And they made a lot of door-to-door sale style vacuums for a lot of people back in dating back, I think, to the early 1900s is when they started doing this. And Tristar was its own company at one point, and then I think somewhere around the late 90s or maybe the mid 90s, if I'm not mistaken. Some of you who are more knowledgeable with Tristars, let me know, but I think around that time frame is when Aris Electrolux purchased the name and then completely redesigned the vacuum itself, where I think the first post-Electrolux bought out Tristar was the EXL, and it was just like this, only a little bit different color scheme, a teal blue handle, buttons and stuff like that. And basically the MG1 and MG2, and then the latest one, I think called the CS, was basically nothing more than revisions for the original EXL. And this here MG2 was actually the second newest Tristar you can get for that time. And how I got this was quite an interesting story. I actually stumbled upon this on Craigslist that was actually about an hour and a half away from me. And what made me break down and actually get this was the fact that it was for sale for only $95. $95, you get this second newest Tristar for about half the cost of what you can get it on eBay. So that's what actually got me to buying this, because this is one of the newer Tristars, and I was able to get it for just $5 shy of $100. And it came with everything on it, all the attachments. It even came with the owner's DVD and a few extra bags, and I'm very happy I got this. And let's give a walkthrough of the machine. I'm going to start from the canister end. What is really nice about these Tristars is, believe it or not, the bodies are actually made out of metal, including the power brush. And the MG2 is powder coated in this nice light gray color, which is kind of nice. The EXL, the MG1, and I think the CS were colored in the much darker gray color. So anyway, right up front here is the hose connection. You see, press on both sides of the hose, and it comes right off. Let me go ahead and show you the bag on this thing. There's your all original Tristar bag. Well, actually, I don't know if this is original. This looks a lot like a generic replacement. But this is what your bag looks like. And it sits in here, and as it's flowing in through this top right here, most of the dirt will spin around inside, kind of like bagless cyclonic technology. But the way Tristar does that is so most of the dirt piles into the back and the rest collects in the front, which is kind of a neat, nifty way to fill the bag all the way full. The only downside I do see to this design is that you got to be careful getting this dirt out, otherwise some of it will escape back into the air you breathe, and depending on how much you pick up will dictate how heavy the bag is and how debatably flimsy this upper part of the bag is and how it'll hold. But this is actually my first introduction to Tristar, so don't quote me on that, but it's a very nice design. So right here is one of the two Premotor filters. This looks very nice and clean. This actually sits in, and the main bag actually sits over the top. This is one of the filter materials, and there's another pre-filter down inside the vacuum. I'm not too sure. I'm gonna see if I can't get this thing off, but I don't know. You can barely see right down in there. Get my shadow out of the way. But there is another Premotor filter down in there. I'm not too sure entirely how to get this thing out, but basically this is the second pre-filter before it finally enters the motor. And then it'll exhaust out through this post filter, which well, here's one of the post filters. This right here, you could actually hook up the hose to the end of right here, and you could use it as a blower. Ooh, the power brush almost tipped on me. But anyway, yeah, that's where you would connect to use this as a blower. And here's the main. I'm not too sure if it is or not. This is a HEPA material, but it seems very well built. And this does look to be a genuine filter. Snap this thing back in its place. Yeah, this nice little metal cap that latches over the top. You can see right underneath you have your cord, to which I honestly don't understand why Tristar uses a traditional wraparound cord. But I guess that's kind of in their design. But anyway, here's the model number right here. Model A101N by Tristar Enterprises, LLC, Dallas, Texas. So yeah, this vacuum is about as much of a Texan as I am. Who'd have thought? This has, as you can see right here, it's 8 amps without the power brush, and then 10 amps with the power brush. So the power brush has a 2 amp motor. So anyway, let's go ahead and release the cord. This upper end of the cord hook actually rotates, so you can better take off your cord, which is kind of nice. Before I forget everything, let's go ahead and set the big pre-filter and the bag back in. I'm gonna close this up. Basically latch it down like so. There's your nice little carry handle. Another thing I do find that's kind of quirky about this Tristar, you would think, just by looking at this, you think this is the front of the vacuum when the hose actually connects right here. So it does seem kind of weird the way it's designed, because most traditional canister vacuums, the hose end would be up front, and this would be the back end. And also right here, I forgot to show you, but here are your nice big canisters, or canister wheels, I should say. They do seem very well built. Here's the ones at the back. These are a little bit rubber coating. These are just straight plastic. All right, and let's go ahead and connect the hose. And let's go ahead and run around the top. The hose is built very nice, if you ask me. I'm not too sure whether or not this is more better built than my Rainbow, but it seems pretty nice. Up at the top, you do have your power switch for the power brush, on and off. Right here is a little suction relief valve. This big button right here is actually your quick disconnect. And you have another quick disconnect down here for the two wands that connect down into the power brush. As you can see, the power brush right here, definitely Aris Electrolux designed for the way it's shaped, because it's got that unique L shape on the side there, just like many Aris Electroluxes of their time. As you see right here, it's got the Tristar with 3 stars right there, MG2 model. This red button right here is actually a little reset button. Should you ever jam something into the brush roll, it'll shut the motor off to save the power brush motor. And then the way you get it started is by pressing that button again, once more, and then you can restart your power brush. So let's go ahead and tip it underneath to show you the underside. There's its original brush roll on it. This is a chevron style. As you can see, the way the brush roll is designed, it has a very interesting W-designed brush path. As you can see, it all draws dirt into the center, but there are 4 brushes that hit the carpet all at once, so it's kind of interesting the way Aris Electrolux designed that. They do have these on some of their Aris Electrolux vacuums. Right here is the little Tristar logo for the power brush. One thing I would like to point out, what's different about the Tristar power brushes versus the Electrolux ones, these wheels aren't spring-loaded. They're actually fixed on the power brush. Most, you probably know, the Electrolux power brushes actually have spring-loaded rear wheels, so that way it's easy to push forward, so that way you don't have to worry about the excessive high suction and airflow sticking the power brush down to the floor and having it hard to push. So anyway, up on the back here, you have your little tool rack for your onboard tools. Right here is your dusting brush, your crevice tool. Actually, crevice tool is down here, and this is your upholstery brush. Right here is actually a special tool converter that you hook on the end of your wand, and then you can use your tool. You could use your traditional tool connections. But anyway, you probably see me blab long enough about the features of this thing. So now, let's just go ahead and run down the cord to make sure nothing gets tangled. I usually like to do this, so that way I know the cord won't get tangled in the process. All right, now let's go ahead and plug this baby in. And Now I'm going ahead and turn this thing on, and I'll demo it for you guys. This thing is very quiet. And some people may already notice the motor does have a little bit of a higher pitched noise, and this is one of Aris Electrolux's many revisions that they've made over time to give it much more suction. So anyway, you see that's right there. You just step on the power head and pull back to release it into its vacuuming position. So anyway, let's go ahead and turn the power brush on and we'll get cleaning. Yeah, it's got that typical noisy power drill sound to the power brush. That's something that definitely a lot of Aris Electrolux fans have gotten used to. I honestly like the way the power brush sounds. Some people love it, some people may hate it. Oh, it's actually already picking up a lot of dirt. And the head does swivel too. Basically switch the power brush off if you're cleaning bare floors. This also does come with a bare floor tool, which I unfortunately don't have. So anyway, let's go ahead and pull the wand out and go ahead and demo the tools for you. Basically this piece right here hooks in to the end of your wand so you can use conventional attachments. So right up here is your dusting brush. Let's see if I can't pull this thing out. Let's see, there we are. And right here is your upholstery tool. Well, you kind of get the idea. And finally, your Crevice Tool. The suction from this is very strong for a canister. Definitely stronger than my Rainbow, I will tell you that. Alright, when you're done with using your tools, simply just put the tool converter back on, and you connect in your hose, and you're back to doing regular vacuuming. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video of my Tristar MG2. Be sure and stay tuned. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.